Yo, what is going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back for another Optc video, and in today's video, we're hopping into the new event, Dear Swordsman Please Help Us, that has just released on Optc Global as the maintenance is finished. And I've got to say, this event sucks, sucks so much. There are a bunch of boosted units, and the big issue with this event is the timeline of Global is all out of whack, and because of that, these boosted units, we don't actually even have access to some of them yet, which is very, very annoying. So you can get the ambush against Kamazo to get the limit break materials for Hiyori, which is the new free-to-play unit, as well as Otoko. But you can only get it from doing the 8-star event against Gyukimaru, and the drop rate for the ambush is actually Dookie as well. So double Dookie incoming, Global Arians, because it's very, very hard to get the ambush, and if you do, it's actually quite tricky as well to actually get around most of the defects, unless you are bringing a friend Zoro. If you bring a friend Zoro, you're going to be okay. So the boosted units that we do have are Zoro and Kaido, the two newest legends in the game. We do have Kamazo and Gyukimaru, the two new rare recruits that have just released as well alongside them. I have done 4 summons as well. I will get those out to you guys most likely tomorrow. I wasn't planning on summoning, but I said screw it, I'll do 30 gem multi, and something popped off, so you guys will see that tomorrow. We also have Hiyori and Otoko, the two new units. They're also boosted, and what these guys do is they actually give you extra points to then help you get your Chopper Man missions done to get copies of Hiyori and Otoko. Then we have all of the Roger Pirates and all the Roger release. So we have Odin, Roger, Dogstorm, Cat Viper, Crocus, the Rayleigh unit, Hawkins. What Hawkins is that? I'm not sure what Hawkins that is. Buggy, Shanks, Edward Newgate, the Strength one, Orobi, and Bone Kichi, X-Drake, and Luffy Taro. Now, some other very, very good units that were actually released before this was Treasure Map, Komurasaki, and Kazuna, Nami, and Robin, who are very, very good for this event, but unfortunately we don't have access to them. So it just makes it extra hard as a global player. But I do have 2 teams for you guys in this particular video today. The first team is this particular team here now. The first team is actually this Kaido team. So Kaido manages to get it done as there are no normal attacks only. After sort of running this event like 100 times, trying to get a Roger and Shanks crew team to work, I basically just gave in and said, screw it, I'm going to use Kaido because there are no normal attacks only. So Kaido can just do a lot of damage with his end of turn blast burn, which is great. We can also use the support of page 1 to remove the attack down. I think I call him X-Drake throughout the run, so I do apologize. We have Cracker for color affinity and a chain buff, as we have a striker and powerhouse captain. We've got King to give us special bind removal as well as burn removal, which is great. He makes adjacent orbs matching. He's just very, very good. One of the best recruits in the game. We have the Neo Neptune. He can give us an orb boost and remove attack down, which is very, very great. We can also use the support of Shirahoshi for some healing. And then finally, we have Praline to remove threshold, as well as defense up, which is awesome. We do have the Mama Shanta. Mama Shanta is going to give us quite a high attack boost after 3 perfects and a good HP boost as well. We can also get a recovery orb on our Praline. That'll help us sort of tank damage, as there is a big death hit on the final turn. The next thing we have is utilizing a friend Zoro Juro, as well as using Roger as our captain. Now on the final stage, you can't actually use an attack boost. If you do, you get all of your slot binded. So just be mindful of that, and if you do bring a friend Zoro Juro, you need to make sure that he has max slot bind, otherwise it literally will not work. You will just get absolutely cucked. We have the new Otoko, and we have the new Hiyori. They're just here because they're very good point boosters. We have Dogstorm. He can remove paralysis and attack down, makes him very, very strong. With the support of Neko, you can actually take this down very, very easily. And then we have V1, Vivi, and Rebecca. Now, V1, Vivi, Rebecca are replaceable with the Whitebeard, the boosted Whitebeard. If you want more points, go for it. But Vivi, Rebecca was actually heaps better. I actually had used Whitebeard, but shout out to my boy CHOO. I did actually see him upload the exact same team. So I thought I'd change it a little bit, and I threw in Vivi Rebecca, and the run was just so much smoother. Like, it was so much smoother. So if you're hating on this event like I am, you can always just use Vivi Rebecca, and it works so much nicer. But they're the 2 teams. The 2 units that you are farming for is this Hiyori. She is quite good. Heals 8 times recovery at the end of 3 turns. Dex and quick attack by 1.75, changes block and unfavorable slots into matching slots, and you can't be KO'd as long as you're above a certain HP pool. She is a Cerebral Free Spirit, my 2 favorite classes in the game. She can be used very, very well with like Vivi Rebecca and Sanji Pudding and stuff like that, which is really, really cool. Next we have Otoko, who's a Free Spirit shooter. Her special removes 20% of the maximum, heals 20% of the maximum HP, reduces bind and removes sound effects by 3 turns, and does color affinity for Dex and quick units. So the Hiyori is more enticing, as she has her limit break crystals as well that you are free to play. So I would definitely farm her up. She's going to be very, very good moving forward. But with that said, that's enough about teams. Let's take on this dumb event. Alright, so the first team is a double Kaido team, and this team seems to just like steamroll through it. The whole idea of this particular team is to sort of just let Kaido do all the heavy lifting for us, and then use our specials once we get to the end to do enough damage to take out both Gyukimaru and Kamazo on the invasion. So, with the actual Gyukimaru fight, there isn't any like normal attacks only, which is great, until the final stage against Gyukimaru, who does put up normal attacks only, but other than that, there's really no sort of tricks to this particular team. It's just basically raw damage. You do basically want to have a ship that can give you HP though, as you do need to be able to tank the final shot. If you don't have a ship that can give you HP, you're going to have a bad time. Now, I'm using the Mama Shanta mainly because our captain is Powerhouse and they are a Dex unit, which means that we can actually get the effects of the Mama Shanta giving us a HP boost, as well as being a higher attack boost. As long as we hit 3 perfects, our next 3 characters are going to hit very, very hard. With the Mama Shanta too, we can actually get ourselves a guaranteed meat orb on our Praline unit. As you can see down there, Praline actually already has an orb, which is quite nice, but I'm going to eat it now. On stage 4, we come up against this Wano swordsman who has defense up. He is a quick unit though, so Kaido can just blow through his HP. Well, we're getting pretty lucky with those recovery orbs on Praline. So on the final stage against Gyukimaru, he's going to special bind our top and middle row. He gives us 5 turns of despair, and he puts up 5 turns of threshold. So what we're going to do here is we're going to use the special of Praline. Praline's going to remove the threshold, as well as give our left side matching orbs. We can then use our Neptune special to get an orb buff, remove the despair, and normally he would set the defense low. We've got King here to remove the special bind and the burn, which is very, very good. That's another thing I forgot to mention. You do get burned on this final stage, and you don't want to use any HP cutters, otherwise Gyukimaru will slot bind all of your characters. And then finally, we're going to finish it off with Cracker special and the Mama Shanta special, so we can actually just get a little bit of healing so we can tank this final shot. Because we got rid of the burn, we can just hit some perfects here, get our chain multiplier up, thanks to Cracker's amazing special ability. And with that, we should be able to take out Gyukimaru, as well as tank the final shot. Easy peasy. So that is the big dog Kaido. Normally I don't like using Kaido, but this event sucks. If you don't have Zoro, you're probably going to have a bad time. So moving on to the invasion now against Kamazo. I haven't actually completed this yet. I have gotten up to this a couple times, but the invasion rate is actually so dookie that it's actually mind-boggling how bad the ambush rate actually is. It's just, I don't know what Bandai's thinking. They just need to fix that like badly. So on stage 1, we come up against Otoko, Hiyori, and Kamazo. Otoko and Hiyori are actually going to run away, which isn't the end of the world, as they actually give us attack up, as well as 99 turns of favorable orbs, a higher chance of landing on the favorable orbs, which is very, very nice. So ideally, you kind of want to speed run through this so you can actually utilize that attack up, as once you get to the final stage, you actually can't use any attack buffs, which is a little bit annoying. But as mentioned, there are no normal attacks only, which means that we can actually just sort of fly our way through this particular piece of content. On stage 3, we come up against a sort of Kaido swordsman looking guy. He does have a dex barrier for 2 dex orbs, but because we are running mainly dex characters on this particular team, it's not really hard to actually get that with the help of Hiyori and Otoko from the first turn. On stage 4, we come up against Gyukimaru. He gives us attack down and he gives us special bind. He's also going to paralyze us for 3 turns as well. The attack down is for 7 turns as well, so that's also something to note. So we do have the support of X-Drake on our Kaido. That way we can actually remove 2 turns. And then basically what we're going to do here is we're actually just going to let Gyukimaru just do all of the heavy Kaido do all the heavy lifting for us against Gyukimaru. But unfortunately for us, we are going to get stunned, as we did quite a bit of damage to Gyukimaru on that first turn. But we are going to take him out on the second turn. But we can just sort of remove the stun by utilizing, basically just taking an attack on this particular stage against Kamazo. Against Kamazo, we are going to get burned from one of his lackeys. He is going to do a 50% HP cut, so that is going to actually remove the stun for us, which is very, very nice. He puts up defense up, and he gives a special bind, which is a little bit annoying. What we're going to do here is we have the support of, what's her name? Shirahoshi to give us a little bit of healing. We can use the King special. King is going to give us our specials back, as well as remove any burn or anything like that. We then have Neptune special. Neptune can remove the rest of the attack down, and he's also going to give us an orb boost to our powerhouse and striker units. Why didn't we remove the special blind on our friend Kaido? That's super weird. Oh, well, it is what it is. We then have Praline to remove the defense up on Kamazo. We can use a HP cut with Kaido, and then we can get a color affinity boost as well as a chain boost with Cracker. And with that, we should just easily be able to take out Kamazo here. No issues whatsoever. See you later. Now, Kamazo does have a revive mechanic, and he does have like a big death hit if you don't kill him on the second turn. But because we still have the attack buff from Hiyori and from, what's her name, Otoko at the beginning, and because we have the 3 turns of orb buff, we have the 2 turns of color affinity, the 2 turns of chain buff with Cracker, we can just easily take out Kamazo. So that was the Kaido team. It actually works very, very well. It's the team that I'll most likely be using to farm it, as finding Zoro friend captains is fairly tricky. So moving on to the second team now, we are using the hybrid Zoro and Roger team. And we do have a lot of point boosters on this particular team. You can actually use the Whitebeard that came out with Roger and Odin instead of using Vivi Rebecca. That will also work as defense up removal. But I did see my boy CHOO actually, he uploaded that exact same team. So I wanted to make it a little bit different. Obviously, if you want to get more points, utilize Whitebeard. But I feel like utilizing Vivi and Rebecca is going to be a little bit more effective, mainly because you can just guarantee yourselves that chain lock. There's a lot more healing with Vivi Rebecca. The downside to using Vivi Rebecca, however, is we do actually need to stall a little bit at the start of this fight, as they're not boosted, so they don't actually get cooldowns like Whitebeard does. But for me, I don't actually have my Hiyori maxed, so look, it is what it is. I'm going to have to stall a little bit for Hiyori anyway, so not the end of the world. As I mentioned, this event sucks. It's such a dookie event. There's so many good characters that we should have access to, but because of the timeline of Global being messed up, we don't actually have access to Treasure Map Komurasaki, Treasure Map Kazuna Nami Robin, Clash Luffy Taro. There's a lot of very, very good units that are very, very good for this, but as global players, we just don't have access to them. So that's just a massive, massive downside to the structure of the timeline being all out of whack over here on global, thanks to the Roger Odin release, as well as the push forward of the Halloween slashes. On to stage 4 now, though, we do come up against the Wano Swordsman, who has defense up. So we are going to remove the defense up with our Vivi Rebecca special. We can also give ourselves guaranteed orbs with Dogstorm, as we don't actually need his special for the rest of the fight. Plus, we have color affinity and a chain lock with Vivi Rebecca as well. And with that, we should be able to just do an absolute butt ton of damage to our old mate Wano Swordsman here. If not, can we actually kill? No, we can't kill. Unfortunately, because we got him so low now, he is going to give us a burn. But it's really not that big of a deal, as we can just avoid that by just not hitting perfects. We are going to get Vivi Rebecca back as well. So that way we can utilize their switch ability. And we can get a 2.5 times chain lock, which means the burn really doesn't matter because we can just hit greats and everything's going to be hunky-dory. On the final stage against Gyukimaru, he is going to special bind our top and middle row. He is going to despair our captains, and he has 5 turns of threshold, which is a little bit annoying. But for this particular team, utilizing Zoro and utilizing Roger as our captains, we can actually just remove all of the nasty defects. So we can use our super typing of Roger here. Roger is going to give us a full border orbs, which is very, very nice. We can use Roger's special for an attack buff, which is excelente. We can use Toko to give ourselves color affinity. And then we can actually use our Zoro special. Now Zoro can also give color affinity with his super typing as well. So you can also use that. That's also something else to note as well. And with Zoro, oh, I forgot to switch. Whoops. Look, it's really not going to matter, right? No. Zoro just does so much damage, and with Zoro's special, he can actually go through defensive effects like threshold, damage reduction, and all those nasty things. So literally just hitting with him, you're just going to have a good time. Ideally, you want to find a friend that has max slot bind to actually make the invasion a lot easier for you guys as well, though. Alright, so moving on to the ambush against Kamazo now, utilizing the Zoro and Roger team. This is where things are going to get a little bit interesting. Now, ideally, this whole team can be boosted if you really want to, as I mentioned. You can use Whitebeard. He will work just as well as VV Rebecca. So if you are missing VV Rebecca and you have that Whitebeard that came out with Roger and Odin for that special release, you can definitely use him on the team here. But I do think that VV Rebecca is just going to do the job just a little bit nicer. Mainly because we just can get access to a nice chunky chain lock basically every single turn, which is just going to help us out significantly. On turn 1, we have Otoko and Hiyori again. They're going to give us attack boost and make it much easier to land on our matching orbs. And then we can easily just take out Kamazo on that very first turn. On turn 2, we have a bunch of Wano swordsmen and 2 turtles. Now, the turtles only have 8 HP, so just be careful how much damage you guys are doing to the turtles. But use this time to stall if you need to, mainly just to get our VV Rebecca special down, as well as getting our Hiyori special. As mentioned, I don't know if you actually caught it at the end of the actual run against Gyukimaru, but ideally you want your friend Zoro to have slot bind level 5. That way you can just easily remove all of the slot bind that gets inflicted on the final stage. On stage 3, we come up against another Wano swordsman, and he actually has a 2 Dex Orb barrier. With the switchability of VV Rebecca and the chain lock, we can easily get some matching orbs as well. With the switchability of VV Rebecca and with the help of Hiyori and Otoko on turn 1. On stage 4, we come up against Gyukimaru. He's going to give us paralysis and 7 turns of attack down, which is absolutely monstrous. So what we are going to do on this particular stage is we are just going to pass a turn. And with the support of Neko, we can actually remove 2 turns of attack down. And then with the special of Dogstorm, we can actually remove the rest of the attack down, which is very, very handy. We can then switch with our VV and Rebecca once again. That way we can give ourselves a chain lock. And then we can start doing damage to Gyukimaru. Ideally, make sure that you try and get an orb on Zoro. Zoro is going to do majority of the damage, as Zoro is heavily boosted in this particular event. Now, we didn't actually take out Gyukimaru. I was meant to use the Otoko special. So I actually don't know if we're actually going to kill here. Oh yeah, we did manage to kill. Beautiful. So we did manage to kill, which is great. Moving into the final stage against Kamazo now. Because we took so much damage, we do trigger Zoro's captain, where he actually does a 20% HP cut moving into each stage. Unfortunately, we are going to get our specials reversed. I do have Boa on my Roger here, just so I can give myself a little bit of healing. But basically what we're going to do here, we are going to use the special of Zoro. That way we can get our cooldowns, as well as get an orb buff. We can use the switchability of VV and Rebecca to give ourselves a chain lock. We want to use the Otoko special first. That way we can actually get some healing back, which is very, very nice. And then we can use our VV Rebecca special to actually remove all of the defense up. We can use the special of Roger now. Roger is going to give us an attack buff, as well as becoming a 5x captain, but there is an interrupt if you use an attack boost. So that's where I was saying you need to be careful and make sure your friend captain has full slot bind, as that Zoro is basically the one that is going to do all the damage on this particular stage. With that, you do need to be mindful that we do have the burn, so we do actually want to just hit some greats here, and then we can do the damage with our Zoro on the final shot, hitting the perfect. The burn is around 10k as well, so just be mindful of that burn. It is a very, very chunky burn, and it can do a lot of damage. On the revive of Kamazo, we are going to use the super typing of our Zoro. That way we can give ourselves color affinity. And with that, we should have enough damage to actually just take out Kamazo on this particular stage. No issues whatsoever. Boom. So there you guys go. That was the new ambush Kamazo and the 8-star Gyukimaru event. Honestly, very, very annoying, and it's very, very hard to find Zoro, so hopefully the Kaido team helps you guys out. But if you guys did enjoy this one, make sure to go down there and belt that like button for me, and if you're new to the channel, hit the big red subscribe button too. But guys, wherever you are in this beautiful world, make sure to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, I thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Lights!